Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at the Tanks DLC for Arma 3 and whether you should buy it or not. So we'll start by looking at the tanks that are added to the game. The first tank is the T-140, which is a Russian MBT, which is fast, with a powerful weapon, strong armor, and there's two versions of it, one with a 50 on the roof and one with a 30mm on the roof. Now this tank is, quite honestly, not that different from other main battle tanks. It's supposed to be like a more modern sort of Russian MBT, but to me it's not that different. I don't really see why you would want this tank that much, unless you'd like the look of it maybe, but to me it's nothing special. The second vehicle that was added was the Awc Nyx, which is a German tankette which is very fast, it's highly effective against infantry and light armoured vehicles. And there are three different versions of it, one which is a recon version, which has no weapons. There's a version with a 50 cal on the roof, and there's also a version with a 30mm. Now, this is actually a really unique vehicle, and they can also have slat armor fitted to it to protect it against heat rounds. So it's not too weak either. Obviously against an MBT it gets absolutely annihilated, but if you're trying to take on infantry or anything that's unarmored or lightly armored, you can do a lot of damage. And because this thing is so light, so small, it's easy to move around, go through forests pretty well with it, and I think it's just a lot of fun to drive. It only takes two crew to use. There's a driver and there's a commander. The commander also uses the gun. And the third tank added is the Rhino Mgs. It doesn't mention what nation made the vehicle, but it's a NATO vehicle. So presumably it might be a collaboration vehicle between the Americans and the Germans, kind of what it looks like. It's very fast, it's a wheeled vehicle, so obviously it's going to be quite fast. Its main guns are 120, however it does have pretty weak armor. You put slat armor all over it, and also have some ERA. Even still, it's kind of weak. There's two different versions, which is one with nothing on the roof and no extra armor, and the second version is one with the 50 on the roof with the slat armor and the ERA. So now let's look at the other content adds to the game. Personally, I actually got this DLC, was on sale, so it was very cheap. I got it because I saw there was a campaign, and that's because I enjoyed the single player campaign. Once you get past the boring bit at the start, it does become quite fun, so I thought a tank campaign sounds like a lot of fun. It'd be really interesting to have a campaign but designed around tanks. It does sound really interesting, so I gave it a go. And here's a picture of all of the missions that are in the normal campaign, which makes you think maybe this campaign will have quite a lot of missions. But no, here's a picture of the tank campaign. It's 3 missions long. How is that even a campaign? So in this campaign you play on the other side of the wall, you get to use an Awc Nyx with a 50, and you get to use the 2 different variants of the T-140. Now, the idea of the campaign is pretty good. It's fun to play, it's just way too short. It'd be nice to see a bit more action in the tankette, maybe some more anti-insurgency stuff, because that's a pretty cool thing for the Nyx to do, really, but they only had one mission like that. There is also a showcase, which is essentially just a singular mission, where you play in the Rhino Mgs, and that's quite fun. It's only one mission, but it's fun. You are in the same battle, but you're playing on NATO's side, and you push forward trying to knock out tanks in your tank destroyer. So that's sort of the main part of the DLC. That's most of it. There are a couple extra things, like I think 2 extra anti-tank launchers for infantry to use. Personally, I'm not too interested. You already have effective ones in-game. I don't see the point in more. There are also anti-tank weapons added to unarmored or lightly armored vehicles, which is kind of cool. But again, it's not something I would use. I could never seem to be effective in vehicles with roof-mounted guns because I always get machine gunned out of them. Also in this DLC, there's some time trials, so if you enjoy the driving aspect of this game, there's some sort of interesting races you can do in each of these tanks. There's one trial for each vehicle. I'll show you what the first race looks like, so you get an idea of it. It's alright. I am personally not too into this sort of thing, because Arma is a bit weird in its driving, but it's not too bad. It really isn't that bad. There's of course some Steam achievements added, so if you're into collecting achievements, there's some stuff for you there, and there's also a multiplayer game mode which is added, which is designed specifically more for combined arms sort of combat. So, is this DLC worth buying? Quite honestly, no. Not at full price. It's not that the content's bad, it's just that there isn't much content. So, if it goes on sale, it's probably worth picking up if you enjoy some of the single player stuff, or maybe you have some multiplayer applications for these vehicles, as the tank head is pretty fun to use. I really do like that thing. So, if it goes on a big sale, it's definitely worth getting then, I think. Otherwise, I'll just wait until it is on sale. Also, here, in this bit of footage, I shoot this plane and I hit the ejector seat, firing the pilot out of the ejector seat, giving me this achievement, which is for safely ejecting out of a plane. I don't know. So thanks for watching, I'll see you guys next time with whatever video I may be making. Links are in the description.